Hey guys, and look, it's finally back. My Sony FDR-x3000 camera. Broke it about 2 months ago. It was away for about a month, and in the last month I've been kind of playing around with it, going through all the different settings and working on my setup, which I'll go over a little bit later on. Finally, last weekend though, I managed to take it out on a trip. We went four-wheel driving up in Lithgow with a few friends, so I shot a little video. It goes for about 3 minutes. I'll play that in just a second so you guys can see the quality this thing is capable of producing. Bearing in mind that I only shot it on the 1080 setting, so the HD, so not the 4K. So in future, hopefully I'll be using the 4K setup to produce some better quality video, but I just wanted to see how it handled the 1080p, and well, you guys be the judge. So have a look at that. If you're not too interested, you're welcome to skip that video, and afterwards I'll be doing a more in-depth review, going over the menu, showing you guys my setup and my initial thoughts on the camera. Cool, so here's the Lithgow video. So where to begin with this amazing little camera? As you saw from the video, this thing is absolutely capable of producing some amazing footage, and that was shot in 1080, not even the 4K. So I look forward to bringing you guys my future videos in the 4K setting. I just kind of was curious how the 1080 came out, just because it is a lot quicker and easier to edit, but I'm definitely going to try shooting in 4K. In saying that though, 1080 is definitely not too bad with this camera. A massive plus with this camera is the BOSS system, or the Balanced Optical Steady Shot. night and day above any electronic stabilization system, and almost comparable to a gimbal. There's actually a few videos on YouTube floating around where they compare this camera with, say, the GoPro gimbal system and the Osmo, etc. And you know, although those gimbals do come out ahead, this is definitely really close, especially for the size. Like, I'm taking this thing out camping, hiking. I want to chuck it in my pocket. I only really want to bring one battery. Like, it's just an all-in-one system, and it is absolutely phenomenal that they managed to squeeze in the optical stabilization in this little camera. It makes a huge difference to the shots. Definitely one of the biggest downsides of using the GoPro for vlogging or for taking videos or any camera really was, you know, it was constantly shaky. I had to work really hard, pan really slowly to get those shots. Whereas with this, you know, you can pretty much just walk forward and it'll get really nice shots. So big plus for this camera, and I think that alone makes this camera a massive winner. Let's go over now the physical form factor of this camera, and then we'll get stuck into the menu as well and kind of sum up a little bit. So going from the front, you've got your microphones at the front here, which is cool, especially if you want to vlog or, you know, if you're capturing any action. It's generally in front of the camera, so it's nice to have the mic at the front of the camera. Definitely a big plus there. You've got your little record light and obviously your lens. Definitely recommend buying a lens protector. It's something that I brought. However, the Sony store was on back order, so it should be here within the next couple of days. See how we go. On the top, you've got another record light. You've got your record/enter button, and also you've got your on and off button. Pretty standard. The buttons are, you know, pretty nice, comfortable to press, give good feedback. It's easy to tell which button's which. Obviously, the on-off is a little bit recessed into the housing, whereas the recording one pops out a little bit, so it's nice and easy. If you've got this head-mounted or somewhere you can't see it, it's, you know, you're pretty comfortable, pretty confident, you know which button you're pressing. On the back, you've got your inputs. So you've got over here a mini HDMI, and then you've got your, I think it's a micro USB input as well, and plus your mic in. Awesome that Sony has included a separate mic in with this camera. Cannot stress that enough. And it goes along with my setup, which we'll cover towards the end of the video. Huge, absolutely huge. One of the biggest problems with action cameras is their pretty crummy audio. So the fact that you can have a mic in and get really good video, very good audio with this awesome video is a big plus. GoPro can definitely learn from that. Over here, you've got your little lock slider for the battery housing. So that's currently locked. This is unlocked. The battery goes in there. Pretty easy, pretty simple, nothing too dramatic there. On the bottom, you've got your standard tripod mount here, and this is where your memory card is going to go. So micro SD card, again, pretty simple, pretty easy there. Over on this side, this is pretty much where your screen is for the menu and everything. You've got your menu button and your up and down and your little screen there. So form factor wise, it's nice and handy. I've always used GoPros for a couple of years, so having this kind of more bullet style cam has been a bit of a change. But to be perfectly honest, I actually really enjoy it. I've got absolutely no gripes with it. It hasn't been hard to adjust. For those of you that are wondering, you know, is it a big change? Is it, you know, whatever? It's been good. I absolutely no problem. Would I go back to the GoPro style setup? You know what? I'm pretty happy with this one, to be perfectly honest. Especially with the headband, taking out kayaking, bike riding, etc. It makes life a little bit easier, and I tend to feel I can get better footage. The only downside with this one is a chest strap, so the chest harness or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be quite difficult to mount that. They obviously do make the accessory, but it just sticks out and looks really funny and really awkward. For most other mountings though, it's pretty good. No dramas there. Righto, let's go into the menu. So this is definitely somewhere, if there's going to be a downside of this camera, this is going to be it. GoPro, been around a little bit longer, have got the menu pretty down pat, and I'm just trying to make sure you guys can see the menu there. Yeah, so GoPro have got their menu pretty down pat. Sony, it's got everything, it's just a little bit hard to find. So up and down, you're scrolling through the different setups. So over here you've got your, let's start at the beginning, you've got your video, you've got your photo, you've got your time-lapse setting there, you've got your live, and over here you've got your loop. So I've got it set for 5 minutes loop. So for those that, you know, ride a push bike or a motorbike in the city, and just want to loop kind of camera for safety in case something happens, this obviously does that, and you can change the time there. Other information you have here, you can see that the camera is in airplane mode. I've currently got it set to HD. It's on active mode stabilization. I have 2 hours and 41 minutes on this memory card. Wide angle, and you've got your battery sensor there. Going into the menu, so this is kind of where it gets a little bit interesting. So mode, which is exactly what I just did with the up and down arrow. So straight away, I don't think that should be the first setting, because I can kind of access that straight away. Whenever I go into the menu, I'm straight away having to press a button to get into a, into a different setting, something that I actually want to get into. So some of the other things you can see here on the camera, you can see that my camera is currently in airplane mode. I'll explain that one in a second when I show you my setup. HD, 2 hours 41 minutes left on the card, wide angle, active steady shot, and full camera battery. Now going into the menu, you get your first problem. Your first selection is mode. Now if I go out of menu really quickly, I can change the mode by just going up and down. So by going into the menu, straight away I have mode. I straight away already have to press a button. It's not a big issue, but you can start to see how not ideally thought out this menu system is. Mode maybe should be one of the last settings there if I really want to change the mode in the menu options rather than just simply pressing the buttons. So, if you want to do it this way, then fine, but you can just press the buttons. Anyway, let's just go back into video. Okay, so we go down one. So here you have all your video options. So you can go so I have 1080p 60 frames per second. It does have that 4K setting, which is HD, so you can go straight into 4K there without too much of a drama. Okay, steady shot, so here you can select again active or standard or off. Definitely active is the one you want. You've got your wide, medium, or narrow setting. Zoom, you've got upside down settings. So this camera, the Boss system, phenomenal bit of technology. However, GoPro, if you flip the camera upside down and start recording, it knows that you're recording upside down and it'll automatically flip the picture. Sony, you have to manually either go into the menu and tell it that you're going to shoot upside down, or obviously edit it in post. Seriously, Sony, you can probably catch up with GoPro here and make this, automatic. If the camera is upside down, I'm sure you can put in the technology to tell the camera that it knows it's upside down, and it'll automatically do that for you. Over here, next page, you've got all your, options here for white balances, whether you want natural or vivid. I shoot in natural because I color grade. You've got your mic option as well, noise reduction, wind reduction, etc., etc. And then we're going to go back. Over here, you've got your connecting to whether it be your smartphone or your computer. And then the next one down, you've got the settings for the camera. So if I turn airplane mode off, you can adjust the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, pairing, GPS, formatting the card, and a whole bunch of other stuff here as well. If you want the camera to beep every time you press, so you know, every time, which is annoying as all hell. So I have that completely turned off. Whether you want 3 record lights or 1 record light, this is a cool feature. Instantly record when you press the record button, so you don't have to turn the camera on and then hit record. Auto off 60 seconds I have it set to, and adjusting the date, time, yada yada yada. So that's pretty much the menu system. Again, everything's there, it's just not set out really well. You know, if I go to this one, I have to scroll all the way down to the back button to go back. If I go into it and I hit menu, it goes all the way to the camera face, which I've done many times, and obviously you just saw me do it a few times in this video. So not too bad there, but definitely can be done a little bit better, especially with rearranging these icons. I'm just going to put this back into airplane mode. So that's pretty much that in terms of form factor, the menu system, etc. Now I'm going to show you guys my setup. So this is pretty much my setup, what I used to shoot the Lithgow trip and what I'll be taking hiking, camping, etc. and vlogging with. Got my camera here, got the Rode Video Micro with the dead cat or whatever the hell it's called, the noise reduction, so I get pretty decent audio, and I was really happy with the audio that I got from the Lithgow trip. Plus your kind of standard RAM mounting, so it's got the 1-inch balls. On this side you've got your standard tripod screw, and on this side you've got the slightly larger screw which goes into the Rode base plate there, or the hot shoe. Nice, simple, cheap, easy. It's the only way I could figure out to mount the microphone for an affordable price, with the camera to be user friendly and also to be multi-use. So I've got it here, you know, I can point and shoot video really easy, have the camera and the microphone kind of pointing in the same direction, and there's no drama. But also I can set it up as a tripod type setup, so I don't have to take the camera off, I don't have to take the mic off. I can just pretty much lay it on the ground, loosen up the RAM mount there, and straight away I've got myself a tripod setting. So whether I want it to be pointing up, or I can, you know, be pointing it down, I can just move this around a little bit more as well. So whether I want to be kind of pointing downhill, or whether I want to be pointing straight, level, whatever. The awesome thing about the RAM mount here is you don't have to have this really tight before the balls don't move in the sockets. So you can actually use this to kind of support the tripod. So, you know, it's really steady. There's absolutely no dramas with mounting it on uneven ground, or there's no problem with it falling over. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. A quick overview of this camera, a little bit of test footage, and also showing you my setup. Stay tuned for many more videos from this camera and from this setup. So far it's been absolutely awesome. If I didn't get through everything and you do have some questions, feel free to ask and I'll get to them as quickly as possible. As always, thanks for watching. Happy trails.